What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing good and having an amazing day. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Vanguard investment platform. If you're not already familiar with Vanguard, it's one of the most popular investment platforms out there at the moment, and it has a strong emphasis on making investing easy and affordable. So today I want to dive into the platform and see exactly how it works, who it might be appropriate for, and give my honest review of the investment product as a whole, coming from my point of view as an investor with almost a decade of experience. Now, just before we get into it, I know it is a bit cheeky asking before the video's even started, but I'd really appreciate it if you guys could smash that like button down below, as it just really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and allows YouTube to share these videos to more people that might find them useful or interesting. And if you are new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell so you never miss a video. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. So like most investment platforms, Vanguard is trying to capture quite a large customer base, as they offer a range of different investment products and account types. For example, standard investment accounts, ISAs, junior ISAs, and personal pensions. But how it actually works as a platform is fairly unique. It sort of bridges the gap between a traditional investment account, where you're left to pick and choose the stocks you want to invest in yourself, but it also can work in a similar way to a robo or do-it-for-me investment platform, where you pick an investment portfolio based on risk appetite rather than individual stocks. And with Vanguard, you can actually choose which of these strategies you'd rather implement. But where Vanguard does differ from other investment platforms is that you're limited to only investing in Vanguard created products. So this will limit you to only investing in their funds and ETFs. So if, for example, you wanted to invest into an individual company like Tesla, you wouldn't actually be able to do so in Vanguard, and you'd have to find a different platform. Okay, so that basically covers the basics of how the platform works, but now I just want to go through exactly what Vanguard offers and run through the features to see where the positives and negatives lie. So firstly, I really like how there's a good range of different account types that you can have. So like we just mentioned, they have everything from standard investment accounts to ISAs, junior ISAs, and pensions. And I honestly think having these options is an essential for most long-term investors, because if you are thinking long-term about your investment strategy, it's really good to start putting money into an ISA, as over time the tax benefits can become really valuable. One big limitation though is that they don't offer the lifetime ISA, which I think is a real shame, as the lifetime ISA is a really great option for those looking to save for their retirement, but also I think it is the best government scheme out there that enables first-time buyers to start saving for a house deposit. And for a bit of context, other traditional brokerages do actually offer this. For example, AJ Bell and Hargreaves Lansdown. And when it comes to do-it-for-me investment platforms, you also have Nutmeg and Moneybox that also offer it. Okay, so next up we have the investment opportunities and funds available to invest in. So firstly, one of the things I really like is that there's a good range of different pre-made investment portfolios. So we have the life strategy portfolios where there's about 5 different options. And then we have the retirement focused portfolios, which each have their own strategy, and there's about 11 different options of these. I also really like how they have a range of different ETFs and funds that you can also invest in simultaneously to the life strategy funds or the retirement funds, but you can actually start taking more ownership over your investments and start managing it more yourself if you want to do so, which I think is really good if you want to develop and learn as an investor. But what I really don't like about this platform is that the actual list of funds and ETFs available are really quite limited, and they don't have much in way of really exciting investment opportunities with the potential of high returns. And so with this platform, as you are just limited to investing in Vanguard funds, this could really limit your investment returns. There really are so many lucrative investment opportunities out there that Vanguard don't offer. And one example is an ETF tracking the NASDAQ 100. So they do have some index funds, for example, the S&P 500 and the FTSE 100, but nothing for the NASDAQ 100. And personally, I see real value in the NASDAQ as it's heavily tech focused, and you just need to look at it compared to the S&P and the FTSE to see how impressive the performance has been. And yes, potentially this could be a more risky investment, but this is just one example of a profitable investment that you won't be able to invest in using Vanguard. And there are so many other examples out there which just emphasise the fact that your profits will be limited if you're using Vanguard. And actually something that I think is quite interesting is that you don't actually need to have a Vanguard account to invest in Vanguard investments. So actually with a lot of their ETFs and funds, you can invest from most other traditional investment accounts. So in some cases, it can be beneficial to go this route instead, especially if you want to have a mix of other more adventurous opportunities in your portfolio. Okay, so the next thing to cover are the fees. So when opening a Vanguard account, you're required to deposit a minimum of £500. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this. With a lot of other investment platforms, you're not required to deposit any money at all when opening an account. And sometimes if you are, it can be as little as £1, which I quite like as it gives you options and flexibility to explore different platforms. But with Vanguard, this isn't the case. So once you've opened your account, the fee structure will consist of a management fee of 0.15% per year, and also the fund fees, which will vary depending on which funds you pick. Now this management fee is actually really quite competitive, especially if you're going to go down the route of the do-it-for-me investment style, where you're picking one of the life strategy funds, as this is cheaper than most of the other competitors out there, like Moneybox, Nutmeg and Wealthify. But where it does get costly is if you're actually just investing into the ETFs that Vanguard have. So for example, if you just wanted to invest in the S&P 500, you'll be charged that management fee and the fund fee. But you could actually avoid the management fee if you invested from a free trading platform like Trading 212 or Free Trade. So actually, if you're taking a bit more of a hands-on approach to your investing, the management fee will actually be quite redundant. And this charge could actually be avoided altogether just from simply investing from a different platform. But one really good thing about Vanguard is that there's no fee when actually buying into a particular fund that they offer or an ETF. So that's something that's quite nice, especially when considering with some traditional investment platforms, you could be charged around £10 for simply just buying or selling some shares. Okay, so the next thing to cover is the platform itself and the website. So the platform generally does a pretty good job of creating a simple and easy to understand user interface. And I really like how they simplify some investment terminology and give you explanations as to what certain terms mean. So for example, they explain here that accumulation means that dividends are being reinvested into the fund. And it's things like this that can be really helpful and beneficial, especially to beginner investors getting to grips with investing. Now I'm personally a really big fan of keeping things simple and cutting straight to the things that matter. And I feel they've tried to do this within the platform. So a lot of the information is quite simple and easy to understand. But I feel that in some situations they do actually miss out some useful information that could be really helpful to investors. So one example is the performance charts. Now with charts like this, it's really useful to see a visual representation of how the share price is doing. But with Vanguard, they only actually show the share price performance and don't show it as a percentage, which I think is a little annoying, as percentage performance I think is one of the most important things to look at. And it'd be nice if they're the same charts just showing this as a percentage, so you can quickly see how well it's doing over 6 months, a year, 3 years and 5 years. Another thing that I think is really valuable when picking investments is actually comparing them against other investments on a chart. So unfortunately, again, this isn't a possibility within Vanguard, and you'll have to resort to a third-party website like Hargreaves Lansdown or Google Finance. And actually, just to show how valuable this information can be, I've created a chart on Hargreaves Lansdown comparing all of the different life strategy funds that Vanguard offer. So we have the 20% equity all the way up to the 100% equity. And to me, this illustrates almost instantly which would be the one to go for if you're picking between these funds. So you can see they basically all have a very similar trend. It's just that when the fund is invested in a higher percentage of equity rather than bonds, the better the performance is. Now, if you were trying to analyse this on the Vanguard platform, it might take you quite a while going through some figures, but really once you have it compared in the chart, it makes it really easy and simple to understand. So overall, what do I think of the platform as a whole? Well, I think it's fair to say that there's definitely potential to make adequate returns using Vanguard. And in this current climate, in my view, you'd be far better off putting your money into something like this rather than in a savings account. And if investing in the stock market isn't something that really interests you, but you want to make some decent returns, I think Vanguard could be a good way to go for many people out there that want a sort of hands-off approach and will allow you to start earning some passive income. Compared to a lot of the other do-it-for-me investment platforms, the fees are actually really competitive as well. However, with all of that being said, if you are passionate about investing and want to start taking ownership and more responsibility over your investments, and start chasing those higher returns, I just feel that Vanguard is a really limiting platform and won't really allow you to grow as an investor, as you're basically just limited to investing in some simple funds and ETFs. But if you are intending to be a bit more of a hands-on investor and want to start taking ownership over your investments, I would definitely look at free investment platforms like Trading 212 and Free Trade, as you can actually invest in a lot of the same investments that Vanguard offer, but a lot more other things out there as well. But there we have it, that basically covers everything for today guys, and if you did make it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video or feel like you learned something new in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could smash that like button, as it does really help me out with the YouTube algorithm and just allows YouTube to share these videos to more people that might find them useful or interesting. And do let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, as I know a lot of people are a massive fan of Vanguard as a platform, and I'd be really interested to hear some opinions and experiences that you guys have had. As always, if you do have any feedback or questions for me, just make sure to drop a comment down below and I make sure to respond to all comments. And if you are new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell so you never miss a video. But with all of that being said, take it easy guys and keep saving.